Hello.
Hi, Wallace. Oh,
Jinx. Oh, what was it?
Jinx, you owe me a soda. That one?
Oh, I never knew that one. A soda in Eastern Canada? We were pop people.
How are you? You're no longer in Eastern Canada.
No, I said farewell to the north. I'm in New York City, and it's not hot yet. It's a little rainy, kind of moody. I'm into it.
Gorge. And I'm here in LA. And
You're
we're back.
baby.
Hello and welcome to
Good for you.
Good for you, man. Good for you. Good for you.
Good for you, a podcast about the things we ghosted, the purchases that haunt us, and best products, services, and industry happenings in the wellness, well-being, and spiritual space. We're going to give you a healthy little dose of fun. We're going to talk about the things that are happening in pop culture, the ones that got away, the things in our cart that are haunting us or ghosting us, our strong opinions,
that are loosely held. We like to call this the Grext,
the group text.
the group text in your ear.
So come say hello. Join us in the audio Grext, where friends don't let friends
Get scammed. Today we have a lot to talk about. We're going over lymphatic drainage summer and the sexy unique scams that we see in the skincare world with our special guest,
Chelsea.
Naftelberg. Yay! It's a fun episode.
You're going to feel extremely lubricated. Lymph lubrication.
You're going to feel svelte. You're going to feel toned. You will not feel bloated. And you'll feel youthfully, maybe even. I don't know. You're going to feel good.
All without doing any exercise.
Look good, feel good. Lay on the couch. That's the goal of the summer.
Read a book.
Girl, don't do it. It's not worth it. I'm not going to do it, girl. I was just thinking about it. I'm not going to do it. I did it.
Okay, so I'm doing lymphatic drainage summer. It's been like 90 degrees in LA for the last week. And you know how it is. We're on the east side. No cross breeze. Just static air.
Zero. There are lots of tumbleweeds, actually. Even I would say in your area.
It becomes the wild, wild west. It becomes truly the desert. Like the transformation is complete after the summer solstice. So everything feels swollen on me. Also, I do not want to exercise. So how can I fake exercise and feel good in my body and not be like sore? So I'm doing lymphatic drainage summer. It's very simple. In the morning, I do like face massage, gua sha, maybe a little ice pack on the face.
I need to get that ice pack mask that you
I
have.
made Ethan wear it the other day because he was like, it's so hot. Do we have any ice? And I was like, well,
cool your whole head down?
I was like, we have sort of man in the iron mask, but ice.
Hannibal Lecter meets
cooling and toning.
Yes.
And so we were both wearing them and he's like, this is amazing. Like this is it changed the game. Didn't have to turn on the AC.
I'm literally typing in face mask in Amazon just to make myself a note, like ice face mask. And it cooled his whole body down?
It's so good. I want to get one that like goes under my chin or like on my neck because it doesn't go all the way down the neck. And I feel like that would be the ultimate game changer.
It'd be great if it wrapped around the neck and then went down the back. And then turns out this is actually a bodysuit.
Yeah. You know, the like chainmail that the knights would wear like under their helmet. I want that, but ice.
Why can't we have it?
We could make it. Did I ever tell you about Breezy Feet?
What's that?
Okay.
Ice mask for your feet.
Kind of.
Shark Tank edition. Let's go.
Okay, listeners, let me know if you'd buy this. So I get really hot feet. But the top of my feet get cold, but I'm really, really hot. But the only thing that's hot are my feet, and it's miserable. It's like they swell up, and it's horrible, and I hate it. Oh. So I want Breezy Feet, which is basically an ice pack sock that goes on your foot, where the bottom is kind of like the face mask, and you can put it in the freezer. And then the top is like a very light linen sort of sock thing, maybe even like a sock sandal, like those Nike yoga toe shoes to cool your feet
little
down.
fly knit top.
Yes, right? Oh my God, that'd be so chic. Breezy Feet. That's what it'd be called.
Breezy Feet TM. Could you walk on the ice pack? Like, how does that part work?
TBD. I mean, I think you'd have to have an inside.
Can only
you'd have to
feet
have
up.
like a laying down shoe, like when you're in bed. Because here's the thing. This is what would happen. I would be
It's
in
a
bed and
bed
I'd be like,
sock.
oh my God, my feet are so hot, but my body is not so hot. So I don't want to just like have my feet out. I can't just have my feet out. My whole body's tucked into the bed.
Get a sock who can do both.
Exactly.
Breezy feet TM.
I think this is a problem of like N1. Like I'm the only person with this problem.
That would go really well in that super niche. What's that magazine that you get with all those? Oh, Hamisher Schlemmer. Did you ever get that?
Yes. I love that.
Also,
shit.
best name.
I love that stuff.
Hey, they're still going strong. Hamisher Schlemmer.
I bet they have great SEO.
Well, okay. So lymphatic drainage summer. Back to it.
Here's the schedule. The schedule is morning. We wake up. Then we do little facial massage.
Little.
Get the lymph out. Little. Zhuzh.
Tiny.
And then if we have the space, maybe a little ice mask if you have some time before you put on your makeup and your sunscreen, yada yada. And then
while you make your morning drink. I love picturing this. Yes. Walking into the bathroom or not bathroom or the bathroom. And Ethan's making his morning concoction just with the ice mask on.
Yeah, this is why you need glass straws because there's not a lot of mouth movement. You do need to be able to sip. And then at night, I'm trying to do 15 minutes of foam rolling on my legs because I am using the walking desk a lot. And then legs up on the wall for like 15 minutes while I read. And it is the best. Oh, and in the shower, using the little massager, the myofascial release massager to get all that stuff going.
Break it up.
Move you up.
Get it moving.
Yeah.
So you got the face, you do the body, and that's all there is, the face and the body.
That's it. Those are the things. But I feel really good because my back had been hurting. My knees were hurt. I'm old. Like everything was like achy and feeling swollen. And I just feel so much better.
Because the circulation is going. The blood is moving.
Yeah. And like your muscles will still pop out. Yes. Like that's the best thing about myofascial release or like lymphatic drainage is that you don't have to work out. You can just like give yourself a massage and it looks like you have abs.
You can be slow girl with abs.
Yeah. And like sometimes that's what you need when it's really hot outside. I feel like doesn't Ayurveda say like don't go do like hot exercise? Like that's the last thing that you need.
So when you messaged me that, I was like, perfect, because I was in Toronto last week and I took my dad to a little Father's Day adventure to a sauna ice bath place in Toronto called Othership.
Whoa.
So fascinated by this thing. It's absolutely a cult, but so far I'm bought in. So it basically started
up.
It's all of these Torontonian business owners. And also, apparently, one of the original SoulCycle founders is an investor, although it was very hard to find out which one.
Okay, because
not a lot of information.
The 3 SoulCycle founders, there are the 2 that kept the business and the other one who left to make Flywheel because they kicked her out. But she was the only person who had spin. She was the spin instructor.
Well, I was trying to do some digging to find out which one it was, but maybe it was her because I think all of these articles would have pointed to the other people. So there are a bunch of founders to what I think is going to explode across the US in the next 5 years, which is their plan. So you walk in and it's all communal change rooms. And then you walk through a communal kind of tea area that's really nicely designed.
When you say communal, do you mean everyone, all people?
All genders.
Genders. Wow.
Yes.
Progressive.
And you're in your bathing suit. And there's a 50-person sauna, and then there are 5 ice baths. And the way that it's set up, thankfully, when we went on a Friday at 4:00. It was actually a good time because it was just before it was going to get busy in the evening. So there weren't that many people there. But right now they're limiting it to 15 people. Okay. And other than my dad and I, there was probably 6 other people. And there are 2 guides. When you go into the sauna, there's a guide and they're all trained in this master sauna certification thing, which I need to look into. Sign me up.
Google that.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, what is this? Nordic sauna certification program. It's a huge 50-person sauna. And my parents just built a mini wood fire sauna at their cottage that they've been installing and figuring out. So we walk in, my dad is like, this must be so expensive to heat this room.
And he's exactly what my dad would say too. He'd really be like, okay, here are the specs for this business. Like I also do now, which I can't help.
Exactly.
Like, how much money do you think they make every day?
Yeah, I had never been before. So we got a starter pass, $55 for 2 people. So it was a great intro. And you have a 75-minute window. So you go in and we naturally start in the sauna. We were a little bit confused as to how it worked because no one necessarily told us this is how you're supposed to do it. But you
Your
quickly
sauna guide was
realize,
like, fucking figure it out.
yeah. Well, we kind of were just like, let loose. But then you realize there are 2 guides, one kind of hanging around the ice bath, one hanging in the sauna. We go into the sauna and we're figuring this out. And there is somebody in there wearing a special felt sauna hat. So
Great. So it was really hot.
it was 94 degrees Fahrenheit.
Oh, okay. So not that bad.
Yeah. And I think it went up to 97 or something, but it was hovering around there. And they had they were whipping towels around as if they were like a, rhythmic gymnastics with the ribbon.
Yeah.
That's what it reminded me of.
So it was a show.
It felt like a show. We were like, what's going on? So we sat in there so confused, but it smelled great. There was cool lights. Then we got out and we saw people doing the ice baths, and there was someone with a crystal bowl who was kind of saying like, let it all go. And I was like, my dad's going to hate this. This is not going to go down well. This is only supposed to be in LA. Why is this type of thing in Toronto? What's happening?
It's escaped.
And my dad was like, do they have a defibrillator here? Did you see one? He was like, no.
Your dad. He's like just thinking through the options.
He's like, no, I just want to make sure. That's pretty cold, that ice bath. And I was like, maybe this was a bad idea. But we do our first session with this guy who, of course, is French. And he swims in Lake Ontario, which is the lake that Toronto is on. He's like, I swim in the lake every day. This is nothing. You can do it. So we get into the ice bath next to each other. And we both make it about 15 seconds, fully submerged.
15 minutes. I was like, impressive. 15 seconds. Okay, that sounds great for me as well.
But of course, immediately you're filled, or pretty much immediately, you're coursing with norepinephrine, I think. And you feel amazing once you calm down and breathe properly. And then we were like, okay, we can do this. And this guy was actually a fantastic coach and made us feel comfortable. And then you totally get bought into think of something you want to let go. I'm going to play the crystal ball in the background, which I'm not adverse to those things. But I thought right away, my dad will hate this. He'll be turned off. And we ended up doing it, I think, 4 times and lasted over a minute on our last one in the ice bath.
Wow.
And we walked away feeling so accomplished, bonded, great bonding experience. But all that to say, there was so much talk of lymphatic drainage and what the ice bath does for you. And of course, the hot and cold transition. And they're planning to open 50 locations across North America in the next 5 to 10 years. And this is about to become the new SoulCycle.
That's cool. I hope they do it because
honestly, I was not mad at it.
Yeah, I literally moved to Koreatown because I wanted to be able to go to a Korean spa every week. And I did. So I'm a huge fan. I think that's really cool. And also kind of a fan of not exercising, TBH.
I didn't ask them all what their routine was, but if you spend an hour in this plus a day, I'm sure that has to totally transform your relationship to exercise in your body. And
yeah, I'm bought in.
When is this coming to LA? That's got to be the next location, if not New York. I actually think is pretty much the smartest part is they have Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, they have social nights where the music gets louder, the lights get lower, and you're encouraged to go and bring friends or meet people. So it's 100% about community also.
That's cool. I did used to take people to the K-Spa. Instead of hanging out to get a drink, I'd be like, do you want to just go to the Korean spa?
Yes.
Yeah. And I would go with friends. I would go with people who I was meeting for work who were like, let's get a coffee. And I'd be like, how about this?
Or the spa.
We wear camp shirts and also khaki shorts because that's what they give you at the Korean spa, the co-ed one, which is the ultimate equalizer. Yes. Everyone looks like a 5th grader and it's amazing. The place in LA is Sauna Bar.
Oh, I've never been there.
One-on-one or 2 people in an infrared sauna, but I don't think they have the ice. And I feel like that's key is the plunge.
Yeah. But then it also is this amazing bonding factor because if you do it with someone, especially if you guys haven't done, even if you've done it before, you're overcoming something together. So you're immediately bonded on a different level. And then you're also kind of high off the norepinephrine together. So I'm like, you know what? This is definitely going to work, this business model.
I bet you could get someone to fall in love with you if you did that with them.
That would be a good step.
Them into being like, do I love this person or do
Yeah.
I just like love ice baths? I don't know.
I was like, do I love this French guide who just convinced us that
Am I trauma bonding with this guy? 'Cause
yeah.
all of a sudden he is so cute.
Actually, it was so funny. We got out and he was like, "Oh my God, you look completely different." I was like, "What?" And
In a
he's
good way or bad way?
yeah. And he was like, "Now I see the real you." And I was like, oh, "Okay." And then my dad got out and he was like, "Oh, the real Carl, I can see him." And my dad also was taken by it for a second and then was like, "Whatever, man. Great
Okay,
marketing."
Jock, fucking chill.
Yeah.
Listen,
Yeah.
you're selling a little too hard.
Yeah, exactly. But I would recommend to anyone in Toronto or when you're
Wow.
visiting Othership, I can't wait to see the location that opens up next because they're doing really well in Toronto.
That's cool. Huge fan. And if they can make it even more accessible to more people.
Also, it's cheaper than going out for dinner, that's for sure. It's
Who needs to eat if you've just done an ice
Right.
bath? You just burned 500 calories doing a sauna ice bath. Like, keep it light, you know?
keep it breezy. Except for do eat before you go. That is not a good.
But not right before you go because
No.
that heat might make you want to throw up.
Exactly. Just hours before. Anyways, lymphatic drainage summer, here we come.
I'm extremely confused.
You're confused. I'm fucking confused, bro.
Well, we have a Sexy Unique scam that
Coming up. We have a lovely special guest who we're going to be speaking to about the Sexy Unique scams in your SPF cart.
In all of your skincare. Chelsea Naftelberg is a certified esthetician and a good for you super fan. I think I can venture to say.
And has also been in the advertising marketing space forever. So she also is a hyper wellness consumer of sorts.
Yeah.
A conscious one.
Yeah. And who's definitely very savvy because she has been buying paid media for brands for a really long time. So I love getting her perspective on skincare stuff because not only does she resonate with things like acne woes and melasma and the like, but she also knows when something's just marketing hype because of obviously her marketing experience and also because she's a skincare expert.
She can sniff it out.
Let's get into it.
They've done studies, 60% of the time it works every time.
That doesn't make sense.
Well, Chelsea, you're here because you're our resident skincare expert.
That means the world to me. You guys both know that every time I hear my name mentioned on the podcast, my little ears go like ding 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 ding.
Which is a lot. We mentioned it a lot.
We do.
I appreciate it. I love to text Michelle about what I'm buying and what she's buying and what we both want to buy and the new products that are coming out that look like a scam and the ones that we're going to buy anyway. First person account of summer skincare.
But before we also get into that, can you tell us a little bit about your journey into becoming an esthetician? Because you're certified, but you're not necessarily practicing, quote unquote, in that industry now.
Yeah, correct.
Or ever?
Ever, really.
You're like, I'm a nerd. I got to go deep.
So I have melasma. All the hot girls have melasma,
Every
as we
hot girl
know.
has melasma.
I think I have a little spot, and I was like, oh, I feel like this is an initiation. I am now past 30. I'm in the melasma club. This is kind of a badge of honor. I think we should reframe it as a rite of passage into your 30s.
But also get yourself some muesli because that will help.
Yes, absolutely. Muesli is my number one for melasma. But I think we can dive a little bit into like the chaos of melasma and how there's not really enough research on it. And that if you don't have it, even if you are a dermatologist or an esthetician, if you don't have it yourself, you really don't get it. And that was my experience. Going to a dermatologist, trying to figure out what was wrong with my skin was like, no one really had answers for me. I had really bad cystic acne. I was wearing a ton of makeup in my mid-20s when like Kylie Jenner was really in and everyone was wearing the matte lipstick. I was like, I'm in. Like highlighter. I never did a full beat or anything, but I was like, I do not like what my face looks like, so I'm going to cover it up. I then got into skincare through that process and probably like created complete chaos on my skin by trying everything under the sun, following all these skincare influencers. But through that, I found I was most drawn to people who had a more scientific basis for what they were talking about, whether that was that they were really into the formulas of things or they were certified derms themselves. And I kind of ended up more on the dermatological side as far as my personal interest went. But at that point had already like done a deep dive on every single ingredient there was. So fast forward to fall
Was this
2009.
pre-Skin Talk? Like TikTok skincare?
Yeah.
I just made, not that that's a term.
Skin Talk with TOK. Yes.
Yeah.
Pre-Skin Talk, more like Instagram influencers. I'm not a big YouTube person. I don't think I have the attention span, but you know, it was a lot of flat lays of skincare products and pretty bottles and Glossier. My first serums that I ever used were the Glossier Super Serums. And I was like, what is vitamin C? Wow, my skin. So kind of playing with all that. But then fall 2019, I made the decision to move to Vermont to be with my now husband from Los Angeles. I'm born and raised in New York City, had only lived in New York and LA, which are very expensive places to live. And I was moving to Vermont where the cost of living was much lower. And at this point, I had gone freelance in my marketing career and kind of saw this world open up in front of me of the opportunities that I had as far as, you know, my cost of living is going down. I no longer need to have this agency marketing job. So I'm going to dive headfirst and I'm going to go to Aveda to become an esthetician. I loved any esthetician I had ever worked with. I love the idea of building relationships. And, you know, when you go and you get your eyebrows done, those people become your friends. And I love this idea of being more hands-on, stepping away from my computer, which I was and still am tied to on a daily basis, and really getting like face-to-face interactions. And that to me was like this fantasy of having that 9 to 5, that you're not thinking about work outside of work. It was never a career I had, but one that I really wanted. So January 2020, I go to Aveda and start to become an esthetician.
And how long does it take to become an esthetician?
It's a 5-month program right now. I believe I would need to double check the hours.
And that's like full time, right?
It was 3 days a week, full days, for 5 months at first. But then March 2020 happened, which we all remember well.
Yep.
I would say my understanding of a lot of schools like this is they're super profit driven. They're really there to get you trained to get your license. And that means that like, they don't have the best people skills and they're not great at, you know, solving problems under pressure when no one can be in person. I basically had to sit at home and twiddle my thumbs and wait for them to figure out how to do online learning, which I did for about a month. But I definitely am proud of myself for still getting the license through all of that. I took the exams, I got everything done. So my paperwork is all taken care of. And outside of that, it's like, I'm still doing what I was doing before. I'm keeping it really simple with my own skincare. I'm obsessing about ingredients and reading about them and studying them. I'll do hair removal on friends and family who come over, but I'm also always pushing laser hair removal.
Okay, I need to talk to you about this.
Oh, we can go deep because I love laser hair removal. And yeah, I mean, I'm just kind of into all things skin. Like I'm into Medi Spa stuff, but again, I kind of land more on the sciencey, super simple ingredients, knowing what's in my products, no fragrance, lots of sunscreen. Like that's, and then I get to a place now where I feel super confident not wearing makeup, which, well, as we talked about in person, that I actually feel like very able to go outside without makeup on. I feel good in my own skin. I feel confident going into my wedding day, knowing that any makeup they put on me is going to be beautiful. And I really do credit it all to sunscreen.
Which is why we're here.
Yeah, exactly. I feel like that is skincare at its best, is that it helps you take the things that are the most you, like your features, how you are naturally, and feel confident. But I think at its worst, skincare and skin talk and what it can devolve into is just more patriarchal beauty standards. And I think that
obsession.
Is a fine, yeah, totally. And it's like a fine line to walk for those of us who like want our skin to feel its best and look its best.
And I would also say, and I'll speak from this place too. It's like, a lot of what's going on with our skin actually has nothing to do with what we're putting on our skin. Like, you want to talk about a skincare scam, it's like nothing really works. Nothing really works the way that we think it's going to work.
When you told me that, you're like, just
Yeah.
products, you don't really need products, period.
Yeah.
Nothing works.
I feel like it's all hormonal.
It's
at least right now.
It's a lot of hormones, and it's very easy for me to sit here and be like, my skincare routine is perfect, my skin is great, blah, blah, blah. But I could have like a random breakout next week because I'm getting my period and get 4 huge pimples on my skin. And I'll be like, nothing works. I need to throw away all of this. And I think, you know, getting to know your skin better, what it gives you is the confidence of like, okay, if I just keep doing this, I know that my skin will get past this because whatever, I ate too much gluten, I ate too much sugar for my own body, that's expelling in other ways on my face. But like, the fact is, if you have a lot of acne, there's probably something else going on in your body, and products aren't going to do anything to help it.
Facts. Pure facts.
Facts. It's all a scam.
Absolutely suck ass, but facts.
Yeah. But we want to get to, we're talking summer skincare, which means largely SPF. And we know that you have a lot of thoughts on SPF scams and what to look out for and what to actually spend your money on and avoid. We want to hear what your thoughts are on SPF.
Sexy Unique SPF scam.
I think when it comes to SPF scams, they're not as blatant as they would be in other industries because SPF is super regulated. You can't call something a sunscreen if it's not a sunscreen.
But I also feel like things have SPF factor, and then I'm like, why the fuck am I sunburned? Like,
oh yeah.
Like, yeah, a lot of Supergoop does not work for me. A lot of their
work.
Face, I guess because it doesn't have zinc.
I really like Supergoop products for body. And I do think that they work. But we were just texting about this the other day. The glow stick, the powder.
That's like, just a highlighter. The glow stick, I'm like, oh, amazing. This is just a highlighter.
Sun, hey, sun, come look at me. This part's shiny.
Well, right. It's like, like, bounce right off here. Yeah. But it's like, you're supposed to be wearing a teaspoon of sunscreen on your face and neck. If we then look at a glow stick and you think about scooping out that teaspoon and how much of that would need to be on your face to actually give you coverage, you're putting like maybe 5% of that on your face. So of course it's not working. And same with powder. Like, you're not putting a teaspoon of powder on your face. You need to like glob that on.
Yeah, that'd be horrible.
Glob it on. So there are definitely products that I think the biggest scam comes from like the products that are trying not to be sunscreen. It's like the sunscreens for people who hate sunscreens are probably going to be the ones that don't work as well.
They don't work. So you can go on hating them.
Yeah. Right. I will also say that my number one thing that I'll say about anything with SPF is the best SPF is the one that you're actually going to wear. Mm-hmm. So if that's the only thing that you'll wear and you're like, I hate sunscreen, I won't wear anything except Supergoop's glow stick. Okay, go off, wear it, but like wear a lot of it and maybe wear a hat also. Like don't rely on that solely for your sun protection.
Maybe
the OG sunscreen
outfit. You know, just like the whole, just put a head on top and a full bodysuit over it.
That's me. That's how
like,
I walk
actually.
around Vermont.
The thing that I do struggle with though is that now maybe having melasma, I have a lot of freckles. I genuinely do notice when I haven't had enough sun that I look ghostly and I'm like, oh, I need vitamin D. So I struggle with that. But I know you don't need it on your face.
Self-tanner, dude.
You got it. Yeah. Honestly, I don't use any self-tanner. You really have to just get into the Snow White phase of your life where you're like, I am my hottest, most gorgeous self when my skin is pale, pale, pale. And I'm sure that there is a good amount of race conversation to be had there. But as a white woman, I will say that what I've needed to do is get over the idea of tanning being what makes me look good and get more into being my palest self is the best that I can possibly look. And that's true no matter what your race is. Like, sun protection is healthiest for your skin long term. So whatever that looks like on you, we all grew up in the 90s where it was like, get super tan, get as dark as possible, your tan lines, like measure how how tan you are. I put like orange glittery goop on my body and then like put a piece of tape on my hand to see how tan I was getting in the summer. I definitely went to tanning beds, all of those things.
Yeah.
And I had to readjust like what my best, healthiest skin looks like. Because I think we all grew up with this idea of like, oh, I look healthier with like a little bit of a tan. And it's your skin is being damaged.
Okay, fair. But I did get diagnosed once after moving to LA with vitamin D deficiency, and I was like, "Is this a joke?"
I took 5,000 IU of vitamin D a day.
Okay, that's good.
I had a vitamin D deficiency when I first moved to Vermont because there's no sun here, and I've taken 5,000 IU of vitamin D a day for years, and no more vitamin D deficiency.
There you go.
Embrace the Victorian look. That's what's happening.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Victorian ghost look. That's the vibe. Although I will say, I am like just very recently back on the self tanner train after a horrible interaction with it in high school. It's been 15 years, and I'm like, I think I look good, and I'm not like going out in the sun. Like I like it. You know,
you look hot. I think, and some people are gonna like live and die by self tanner. You know, I'm not gonna call her out by name, but my maid of honor before our bachelorette party, our collective bachelorette party,
the collective bachelorette party. Yeah.
Before my bachelorette party was like, I'm gonna put on my self tanner, and she came and she realized that I think maybe she got a spray tan, and she came and she realized that all of the women in their 30s who were a few years older than her did not do that. And I don't know if that's just like, we grow up, we have more acceptance over our bodies the way they are, or if it's just, the group of people who I hang out with are very like into pale girl summer. But there's like, people will live and die by like, I only like the way I look with a spray tan. And again, I will say, go off, do you, as long as you're not lying out like with Crisco and the reflective tanners, and be your best self, whether it's fake tanned or pale. Just like don't go out and crisp up.
When I was 21, I got a spray tan it was before my birthday, and I was living in Montreal, and this was February, the dead of winter, and we're all in college, no one's vacationing. And I showed up. It was one of those where a friend is like, hey, I'm like, I went to see this girl who has a spray tan thing in her house. You should go do it. And you're like, why not? Sure. So I went and did it and showed up to dinner, and everyone was like, where have you been? I saw you yesterday. You look insane. I looked orange. This was early days of spray tans, not what they are now. And the next day I ended up going back to Toronto to celebrate my birthday with my family, and I was severely hungover, and all I could smell was that fake tan smell that is death to me. It's like the smell of apple vodka or something. It's the smell of your youth, and you're like, why? So anytime I smell it, I'm just like, But the one that you recommended to me, Michelle, the fake tanner, the face one, doesn't really smell like that.
Yeah.
But I will caution.
Yes. I won't use that because it breaks me out. So that was the end of my relationship with
I think it does for me too. No, I've tried it like a few times, and I think it gives me like blackheads. Like clogs my pores.
Skin like glass, pale girl summer.
Yeah. Also, you might dye your eyebrows if you put it near your eyebrows, so don't do that.
Ooh.
I was like a ginger eyebrow person for at least 3 days. That's me and products, and I'm like, I have no idea what I'm doing here.
Eyebrows sound
Push
good.
It all in.
All over it.
Yeah. Caution.
Okay. I have another fake tanner product, but I'll drop it into the chat, or I'll send it to you both after this. It's a tanning water. So you spray it. It's a mist that you just and then you go like this with a sponge, and it works really well. It's actually less intense than the Isle of Paradise ones.
I think honestly, I just have so many trust issues with skincare products that it's really hard for me to add something else in. And this might sound corny, but like accepting my skin for the way it is allows me to like not worry about adding something else, because I've finally gotten to a place of acceptance, and acceptance for me includes like I don't have random breakouts all over my skin. But when I add things into my routine, that becomes less stable. Like that, my relationship with my skin becomes less stable.
Right.
My skin surface becomes less stable, all of that. So I think I've just leaned heavy into, I'm just going to be pale. I'm going to use the sunscreen that I like, and I'm going to be pale all the time.
Live your
And
craft for life.
I'm fully known as like an indoor kid now, which I never thought of myself as, but I'm like fully an indoor kid. And
well, but I have seen many stories of you outside with your lovely dog and your lovely sun hat. And so we need to know, what are the products that allow you to go outside and make you feel comfortable? What's haunting your cart?
Your holy grail products.
My holy grail products when it comes to sun protection are like very specific and very intense, which I would say any melasma girlies know, like once you find your thing, you're not going to stray from it. So as where you find all of the good secrets on Reddit, was really where I went to find any solution for melasma. Because
skincare addiction, is that the subreddit?
I was like melasma SPF searching, just like help me, because I had tried so many sunscreens. And Michelle, I feel like you and I for years were like, this sunscreen, this one. And it felt like none of them were doing anything. And I found an article on the La Roche-Posay Invisible Fluid, the European formula, which has Mexoryl. Is that the right name for the ingredient?
Yeah.
I wrote this down so that I could have
Yes, you did write it down.
Yes, Mexoryl, which isn't available in the US right now and is an incredibly stable ingredient and does the best job blocking sun for melasma. But I would say that in combination with reapplying all the time, also making sure I'm wearing sunscreen when I'm indoors, always wearing hats when I'm outdoors. So literally, sunscreen is part of my daily routine. There's not a day that I'm not wearing sunscreen. I will maybe choose a different sunscreen depending on my activities for the day. But most days I'm wearing the La Roche-Posay Invisible Fluid, which is the European formula. It's very, very different than the US formula. And then on top of that, I'll layer Paula's Choice Essential Glow Moisturizer, which is an SPF 30, and it has some zinc in it, and it's a little bit tinted. And so that zinc helps protect from the blue light of my computer that is just always blasting at my face, because the blue light can cause sun damage too. And even if you're not on your computer, but you're on your phone, if you think about like at night, you're on your phone and that light is just shining directly on your face. I mean, it's very close to your face, and it is causing damage, just like the sun is.
That blew my mind. I was like, there's no hope.
I know. I was going to say, it's just like, man, we can't win.
I have blue light protectors on all my devices. I am fully like, I will try anything to try to just stop the light from hitting my face. Even you can see like there's light coming from this window. 9 times out of 10, I'm like pulling down my shade during a Zoom call, because if I'm seeing light bounce off my forehead, I know that sun's hitting my face. So a lot of it is just being a complete lunatic about staying out of the sun. But also just in the past 2 years, I've gotten really into UPF hats, which as recently as last year, they were the ugliest hats in the world. They were made for
legitimately like coastal grandma, but not cute coastal grandma.
But not cute. Like it was truly embarrassed to be wearing them. And then this year it feels like there are so many more options. I'm really into hats by Solbari, and Barrier just came out with a hat. They have the masks that I really like because they are supposed to be like better for your skin and don't cause acne. And their hats are also UPF 50, and they're super cute, and they're like crushed down so you can throw them in your bag. I was catching up on Good For You yesterday, and I think like 2 episodes ago, Michelle, you were talking about traveling with your witch hat.
Yes.
Which I love a good straw hat for some drama, but falling in love with like big fabric UPF 50 bucket hats that can just be stuck in every bag. Like that to me makes hats so much more accessible, because I can literally always have one on me. I can throw them in my bag. I'm not thinking about like, how's this going to fit in my suitcase? How am I going to carry this around with me? It's like they crumble up into nothing, and then I can take them out, fluff them out, and throw them on my head. My face sunscreen and my hats are my number one because I'm most obsessive about my face protection. But if you live with me, like my husband does, I also keep the giant bottle of Supergoop like accessible at all times. And that's kind of our body sunscreen for the whole year. And I think with body sunscreen, it's like, keep it accessible, reapply it. I don't generally recommend spray sunscreens, but I'll take that with me for touch-ups later because, again, it's like the best sunscreen is the one that you're going to use. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to be at the beach and want to take like a big gloopy hand of sunscreen and rub it on my body. At the beach, I'll use a spray. I'm always making sure to reapply. And the one other thing I'll add that I love for reapplying that I feel like, I don't know, maybe this is it. Maybe we're going to bring it back. But the Evian spray, you can get minis on Sephora for, like, they come in 2-packs. I have them with me all the time. And I'll just
water.
It's like Evian bottled water.
Okay, my mom, when I was home in Toronto, my mom left. What's it called? It's like eau de something in French. I forget. It's like, essentially, it's just water.
Yeah.
But it's in aerosol. La Roche-Posay makes one. And my mom left like 2 of them on my bathroom counters, like a Evian one and a La Roche-Posay one. And she was like, remember you used to love these? I think you should like get into this again. I was like, are you trying to say like my skin's dry? Yeah, I was like, what are you trying to say? She's like, I don't know. You live in the desert. Maybe like... But it was so funny because they were old. They were like from her cabinet. I was like, where'd you get these from? They had run out, but I went to Shoppers, which is the Canadian kind of like Ulta or Walgreens. It's called Shoppers Drug Mart. And they have a huge La Roche-Posay collection, not as big as the Europe collection, but they have them at every location. And I got one of those little travel size ones. And honestly, I've been loving it.
Ooh, I want to try that LPR one now. I mean, I've been into the Evian one for a while, and I remember my aunt used to have the big bottle on her counter, and it feels very like, it feels very old school. Like it feels like cold cream almost, like pre-skincare. But people spend so much money on all these like spritzes and sprays from all these skincare companies, and I swear, all you need is a little mineral water. And so I'll just spray the Evian on. First of all, if it's hot out, it feels amazing. I love having it in my purse, but it also will just kind of
balance,
moisturize my skin, which makes it less like, I don't know, have you ever reapplied sunscreen and you feel like you're like dragging against the dirt of the day?
Right. Ugh, or like it's hard to reapply sunscreen over makeup. Like, especially if you're wearing makeup. So giving it a little bit of a moisture helps everything blend a little bit better, I think.
I would also say the makeup sponges that are a little bit furry on the outside, they're almost like a velour. Have you seen these? They're like a velour makeup sponge. They have them at like the drugstores and stuff. They're around. You can usually buy one for a couple of bucks at Walgreens. But those are great for blending in sunscreen over makeup because they don't absorb the product in the same way the like beauty blender silicone ones do. Yeah. So you can tap it in on top of makeup. You're obviously not getting as much coverage as if you're not wearing makeup and you're able to just, fully goop your face. But again, the best sunscreen is the one that you're wearing. So if you can train yourself to, if you have, I don't know who goes into the office. I certainly don't. This is my office. But if you were on a lunch break and you were going to go get in your car, when you get in your car, you have your little sponge in the car and you have your sunscreen in your bag and you just dab a little on, I'm not going to say like on the high points of your face, but in the areas where you're the most likely to get hit with sun, that's going to be better than not reapplying it all throughout the day. So if you're a heavy makeup wearer, I would definitely recommend that. Or if you're like me and completely stopped wearing makeup, just spray your face and fully gloop it on just like you did in the morning. Goop it on, gloop it on.
Nice. Zhuzh it on. Really anything.
Zhuzh it on. Yeah. A little spritz, a little this.
I wanted to ask you, where do you get your European sunscreen, Chelsea?
You can find it pretty easily by searching European skincare shipped to the US in Google, and there's a number of sites who are shipping it.
Cool.
There no longer seems to be an issue with having the product in stock. It seems to be readily available. I do have a link for it on my Shop My Shelf that goes directly to a European site. It's not that hard to find. In fact, the reason that the sunscreen was even launched in the US was because so many people were purchasing it from Europe. But because the FDA has such a strong hold on the sunscreen ingredients used in the US, it doesn't even come close.
I wonder who's behind that racket, because not much is super regulated by the FDA. So
yeah, they're like supplements. Do you want to just take straight crack cocaine? Perfect. Great. We'll call it a pre-workout, but sunscreen, God forbid.
Yeah.
They're so intense about sunscreen. And what I'll just say is anything that L'Oreal is making, so any L'Oreal brand, they're spending the most money on research and development for SPF and sunscreen products than any other brand.
They have the most money.
For better, for worse, those big companies, but when it comes to actually being able to have the funds to do research, they're going to have that more than any, like more opportunity to find the new ingredients than anyone. And I'm not going to be like, I trust L'Oreal, whatever they say goes. I don't do that with any big company, but I do, like, they patented Mexoral. They are constantly coming up with these new ingredients and testing them really heavily. And so when it comes to something like sunscreen, I do kind of trust L'Oreal more than I trust the FDA, who isn't doing those trials, who isn't spending that time. Yes, there's certain ingredients we want to pay attention to that have been found in bloodstreams years after using the product and stuff like that. But I think when it comes to new ingredients and new technology, we should really be looking at the companies that are spending the energy on that research and development. And L'Oreal, who owns La Roche-Posay, is absolutely spending the most money to get like the most high-tech, newest, best ingredients when it comes to sun protection.
Okay, my last question, selfishly. I noticed on your shelf, you have what's it called? Aquifer? Do you believe that is the answer to moisturized lips? Because I think for me, anything that I put on my lips chaps them except for Vaseline. And now I'm pretty convinced. But
wait, even the Laneige sleep mask?
Even the Laneige.
I got in I'm not gonna say an argument because that sounds dramatic, because I love my makeup artist for my wedding, but we had a head-to-head about moisturizing my lips because I have an allergy to Laneige, which I learned recently. If you get the little like crusties on the inside of your lip,
that's what I have on the top.
So if you get those little crusties when you're wearing a product, it means the enzymes in your mouth are reacting to the product, and it probably means you have some sort of allergy to an ingredient.
What?
So,
is it the same for your eyes when you get eye crusties?
I would just maybe. But it's like, you know, when it just feels like there's a film building up, that is an allergic reaction. So that's always happened with Laneige. And I honestly thought, I was like, oh, it's just not designed to be worn during the day. That's why it's like this. But then I was told that it's an allergic reaction, which I'm sensitive. What can I say?
Yeah.
So she said, when she put that on me, she saw that start to happen. She said, what else do you have? And I said, just use Vaseline. And I really had to convince her to put Vaseline on me because she said, no, it's going to make the lipstick run. It's going to make the lipstick bleed. And I said, no, just put it on me. Put the Vaseline on me. It's going to work. And I was right. But Vaseline is definitely my number one. I feel like if I put Vaseline on at night, I wake up in the morning, my lips are still moisturized. So I'll say two things about kind of Vaseline and Aquaphor. Vaseline is definitely sealing you in. So Vaseline is going to work best if you have some moisture underneath, even if you're just putting a little bit of like Cetaphil when you're moisturizing the rest of your face, you're applying that to your lips also, and then putting the Vaseline over. A little spritz with the Evian and then the Vaseline over will help lock in that moisturizer. Whereas if your lips are already dry and then you put Vaseline on top, it's going to feel like you're kind of just locking in dryness. Aquaphor, while very similar to Vaseline, has some additional ingredients that if I have an irritation on my skin, I will lean more toward Aquaphor because that's doing more to actually soothe the irritation as opposed to locking it in. I will use both on my lips
or something like that.
Yeah, something like that. I love ingredients. I don't know. There's something in it. But I have both in my bag at all times. I I'm fully like slug Vaseline all the time, all over my face. I think Vaseline cures pimples. I love the video of Tyra Banks like handing out bedazzled Vaseline to everyone. She says in that video, like, it's my favorite eye cream, it's my favorite everything cream, and that's how I feel about Vaseline. I think the other lip products that I really like Mario Badescu's lip balm. Interestingly, it's one of the cheapest things you can buy on Sephora, which is how
Love
I
that.
tried it, because I needed like $5 more to get free shipping, and so I bought the Mario Badescu lip balm, and now it's one of my favorite products. So
Nice.
But otherwise, it's pretty. I'm like looking around. I'm like, yep, that's it. It's that, and then a bottle of Aquaphor. That's what's on my desk.
I wanted to be part of the Laneige cult, and it just doesn't work for me.
I'm not in that cult. I'm in many cults, but not the Laneige cult.
Okay, what's your top cult that you're a fan of right now?
Oh, my top. Wait, a real cult or a cult that I feel that I'm in?
Well, you can take it in any which way you want.
I would say I'm absolutely in a tretinoin cult.
Oh my God. I am berated by tretinoin ads on TikTok right now. Or have been berated. Barrage. All of
when
the
it
above.
comes to skincare, it's literally like everything you can get at the drugstore and then get your prescription tretinoin. And as Michelle said, I love Muesli. I use their formula with hydroquinone about 3 months on, and then I'll do 3 months off, and I'll alternate with their hydroquinone formula and then just the regular tretinoin formula. It's cheaper than getting it at a pharmacy in most cases with insurance. It's really well formulated, and like I just think that is the secret to great skin. I'll also say I'm definitely also in the Botox cult, which for me started out as cosmetic, but then also became the solution to my migraines. So now it's for health reasons.
Multi-purpose.
Anyone who has amazing skin after age 25, I think if you're like, wow, you have such good skin, they're using retinol or tretinoin and they're getting Botox. It just, that is the truth of it. I remember getting a facial by someone who was doing like, what is it? Microcurrent facial. And she had such nice skin. I was like, wow, you're beautiful. You must be like, this must really work. And when she was doing my face, she was like, do you have any fillers or do you have any Botox or anything like that? And I was like, no, I'm like 29. Of course I don't have that stuff. And she's like, well, I'm 27. I've been getting it done since I was 24. And I was like, okay, insert foot in mouth. But also, you look great. So,
yeah.
I definitely feel like as soon as I started getting Botox, that's when people were like, wow, your skin is amazing. Like it definitely creates that smooth palette that attracts the eye. Yeah. And look, everyone can do exactly what they want to do as long as they're not laying out in the sun. So you can hate the idea of it. You can love the idea of it. For me, I want to do it exclusively for aesthetics purposes. And then color me surprised when it also helps me regulate my migraine attacks. So
there you go.
There you go.
A medical miracle.
And the other cult I'm in is the cult of Kim Kardashian because I love her. And
are you going to get skin by Kim?
I don't think so.
Oh yeah.
That's actually that's a great question. And I just don't think so. There's celebrity skincare products. Just again, keep it simple. I like things I can buy at the grocery store. Anything that's in like fun packaging, anything that looks good, I'm like, I don't trust it. I have trust issues. Look, Kim has not steered me wrong when it comes to Skims. I am embarrassed by the amount of Skims that I own. You know.
I know.
And I'm wearing 2 Skims things right now. Love Skims.
The comfiest stuff.
It really
is. When it comes to my skincare, I'm just a little more discerning because
I want like Comic Sans as the font of my skincare. Do you know what I mean? I want it to be so ugly that I'm like, this has to work. You know, like it's
better.
It's not the marketing. That's like why people like this thing, you know?
Right. 100%. And I mean, I think anytime I hear someone being like, oh my God, this product's so amazing and it's a celebrity skincare line, I'm like, well, first of all, that product is probably available somewhere else in a different bottle. And we just don't know which one it's a dupe for. Like literally the exact same formula is being packaged somewhere else for cheaper for someone else. I don't know, celebrity skincare I was just looking at Hailey Bieber's new
I was just going to
skincare
ask
line.
you,
What do
Road
you think?
Skincare.
The only thing I'm curious about is the lip nourish. I think for me, lip balm and eye cream are like safe products to try, which is weird because like it's literally the orifices on my face. So you would think not, but I know I'm not going to break out in those areas. So if I'm
Yeah.
going to try something by a company I've never tried before, like the snail mucin eye cream, I'm more likely to go for the eye cream than a full face moisturizer because
Interesting. I feel like eye cream is a scam. As someone
Yeah.
with like serious wrinkles, and I feel like the place that I wrinkle the most is around my eyes. I feel like most of them do not work.
you know, you've said that for a long time, and I don't disagree with you. I think that the promises of eye cream are a scam.
Yes.
The promises that they're going to reduce your dark circles, that they're going to
No.
reduce your lines, scam. None of that is real.
internal.
Right. Drink water, get sleep, stop looking at a blue light all day, and maybe get Botox for your crow's feet. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, but I will moisturize it. Like I still use an eye cream. I'm just like, it has to be super, super, super thick in moisturizing, because then I feel like it makes a difference in the way that my skin feels, but it doesn't make a difference in my wrinkles.
Look at that Mizon snail repair cream because it comes in a huge pot and it's less than $20. It's like the biggest eye cream.
Is it on your shelf?
It is on my shelf.
Hell yeah, dude. 25 milliliters. That's a lot. That's a lot.
I got it. Like shout out to you two though, because I would have never actually followed through with making my shop my shelf if you two hadn't been encouraging me for the past 2 months. So
Well, Chelsea, where can people find you and find out more about your hot skincare takes on the regular? Where can people get all of your juicy content?
Where can people DM you about their sunscreen?
I live on Instagram as Chelsea Out Loud.
Yes.
And that's pretty much it. I have profiles everywhere. I am a social media professional, but I just still really love Instagram. I'm just really millennial in that way.
Love to hear that.
Into Instagram. I thought TikTok was too addicting, so I took it off my phone. I'm just sticking with Instagram for now, and we'll see how badly they ruin the platform in the next 12 months.
It's a toss-up at this point, but your content is great. So everybody go and check out Chelsea. We'll link your shop list and IG in the show notes. And I now have an extremely haunted cart. So
I know. I'm like trying not to peruse your shop. I'm trying to like stay focused and also shop at the same time.
Yeah. That's my entire life. Well, this was a dream come true. I love you both so much. And you can have me back anytime to talk about literally any topic. I'm just here to talk shit with you.
Oh, we will take you up on that.
The highest honor, truly.
Good For You is produced by yours truly, Wallace Miller Blanchard. Our theme song is by Parallel Dance Ensemble, and our wonderful editing is done by Softer Sound Studio, who you can find more information about at the link in our show notes.